Hi, I'm Jack Lazard, founder and CEO of Compound Digital. Today, we're going to be going over B2B SaaS value propositions. This playbook has been generated from generating 50,000 demos for B2B SaaS brands for my agency, Compound Digital. In this video training, you'll learn the importance of value propositions in converting traffic to sales, why it's important to start testing value propositions before anything else, how to generate value propositions for your brand to test, the step-by-step process to craft value propositions after gathering ideas, step-by-step process to develop different angles for each value proposition, an example of how to develop and test value propositions, choosing value propositions to begin A/B testing with, and then a step-by-step process to testing those value propositions. Okay, so first things first, why are value propositions so important? Testing value propositions first is crucial because it directly addresses the core needs and pain points of your target audience. We don't know which of those core needs, which of those pain points are going to resonate the most and thus drive us the most booked demos, the most conversions. So by first scoping out what are the different value props that our product, that our service provides before we do anything else, we can clearly test value prop A versus value prop B versus value prop C. That's why creating value propositions is step one. Real quick, some great results we've had from following this exact process. This B2B SaaS brand went from 0 to 125 demos a month with Meta ads. And this B2B SaaS brand went from 0 to 200 demos with Meta ads in just 2 months. Okay, so continuing on with the theme of why start with value propositions first and foremost. For people to want to buy your thing, they need to be sold on why. There's basically 3 ways that you can highlight the benefits of your offer. Number 1, it works. It solves their problem. Number 2, it's quick and it saves them time. Or 3, it's easy and saves them resources. Now, it can be a combination of all 3 of these, but typically your value proposition is going to fall into one of these categories. And then there are 2 main emotions that you want to be drawing on when you're creating your ads. These 2 emotions are joy or fear. So you either want your target audience to be running towards your offer with joy, aka I need this in my life, or running towards your offer with fear, aka if I don't get this problem solved, I'm going to be out of business or it's going to be real bad news for me. How to generate value propositions. So there's a ton of different ways that you can generate these. If you've been in business for a while, you likely already have a decent amount of value propositions. Here are a few ways that you can really hone in on gathering more value propositions to test. I won't read them all out here, but essentially it's actually asking your customers what they most like about your product, what they most like about your service, and what they use most. So it makes sense to get the information straight from the horse's mouth, as it were, to find out exactly what the most useful aspects of your product is, and turn those into value propositions to use for your marketing, to use for your messaging. Okay, so once you've gone out and done your market research, you spoke to your customers, you've done some social media listening, how do you then go about crafting those into clearly defined, succinct value propositions? This is that step-by-step process. So for number 1, I'd recommend just doing a straight up brain dump. So get out a Google Sheet and just drop everything into that Google Sheet. Next up, if we're going to continue on with that Google Sheet, you're going to create rows. So each row is a different category. So you're going to create a category for each different bucket, each different theme. So for example, one's customer pain points, one's product features. Then for each theme, for each row, you're going to prioritize them in order of importance, in order of impact. So basically, which value propositions do you think are going to be the most high yield, the most impactful, and deliver the most attention and conversions from your target audience? From there, and this is a super important element, this goes more into headlines here, but you're going to craft clear, concise statements. So for each idea, you're going to turn it into a clear statement using the format, product helps whoever your target audience is achieve this benefit by how it works. This is going to be super important if you're going to be running any ads, because we're going to be testing headline A versus headline B. So for the same idea, we may have 5 different headlines for that idea using this format, for example, and each of those headlines is between 5 or 10 words, and we're going to see which of those headlines performs the best. So it's super important you don't skip this step. Now for steps 6 and 7, both how to test and refine these value propositions, these statements, and then to finalize and implement them. Both of these can be done at scale, very succinctly, data backed with Meta ads. How to create a process to develop different angles for each value proposition. So drawing on number 5 from before, where we're going to turn the value props into statements. Each of those statements is essentially a different angle that we're going to use to test the value propositions. So for step 1, we're going to identify a core emotion, like we spoke about before, joy and fear. So for example, with fear, consider what your target audience most consider what your target audience might lose or suffer without your solution. And then joy, think about the opposite, the positive outcomes, the benefits they'll experience from your solution. There are other angles you can test. So for example, urgency, trust, and convenience. But I typically find that drawing on the real core animalistic emotions of joy and fear typically convert best. So that's what we're going to be focusing on the next couple of steps. So if you look at number 2 and number 3 here, so to craft fear-based angles, take each value proposition and write down what the customer risks by not implementing that value proposition. So let's take, for example, a B2B SaaS solution that is a CRM for busy, small but busy law firms. So the value proposition could be stop losing your clients from poor comms. So a fear-based angle, obviously, is the stop losing your clients. And then a joy-based angle is improve your comms, gain more clients. So it's the same value proposition of essentially growing/shrinking your business, but it's coming around it in 2 different angles. Some people are going to respond better to the carrot and some people are going to respond better to the stick, the joy and the fear. So it's good that we test both of those to see which one resonates best with our audience. Now, again, I also discuss here urgency-based angles, trust-based angles, and convenience-based angles, but I do typically find that joy and fear work best. So what I would recommend doing is coming up with 5 fear headlines and 5 joy headlines for your top value props and testing those first and foremost. So here's a made-up SaaS called Tax Planly. So they're a tax planning fintech. So for this example, they are a fintech brand who offers a white label SaaS to financial advisors for tax planning services. So the main benefits of the Tax Planly SaaS is for the financial advisor, the advisors can keep their clients in-house with this tax planning solution. So instead of referring out their clients to tax planning professionals and potentially losing those clients to the tax planning professionals or having them have shoddy work, you can keep them in-house by using this white label SaaS solution. Another value prop would be for the financial advisor, they can use this SaaS solution as a lead magnet, aka say, get tax planning for the first year done for free. Third value prop for the financial advisor takes minimal effort. It's a white label SaaS solution whereby the financial advisor's clients go into the portal and basically do all the work themselves. So the financial advisor saves a ton of time. And then for value props as well, it always makes sense to consider not just the person that you're selling to, but how it benefits the customers that they're selling to. For the financial advisor's clients, how can they benefit from the financial advisor using this SaaS solution? 3 different ways. It's super easy. A question and answer online portal. Typically tax planning is a bloody nightmare and it takes ages. So an intuitive portal is convenient. Another one, very quick, takes the client just 20 minutes to go through their tax planning. Typically it takes hours and then saves the client thousands in fees as well. So instead of going to a tax planning professional, they go to this white label SaaS solution and the end user saves themselves thousands in fees. So it's important to note here that all 6 of these value propositions can work. So we did all the work previously in terms of crafting all those different value propositions. Which ones are going to work best? We don't know. But what we do know is that all of them can potentially work well. You've done all your research and know that at least some segment of your target audience is interested in all of these value propositions. So it's really important to test different headlines for each value proposition, how best to position each of those value propositions. Because ideally, we want to have down the line, we want to have multiple value propositions, multiple headlines working in unison. So we have an army of ads that are all converting for us at a clip. That said, we don't want to start off with a scattergun test of testing out 25 different value propositions. We want to go with the 2 value propositions that we think are the most likely to succeed. And then from there, the 1 individual headline for each of those value propositions that we think is best and most likely to convert. So step 1 of that. For all 6 of those value propositions, I've created a joy and a fear-based headline. So for value prop 1, we have the advisor can keep clients in-house. So that's keep clients coming back with Tax Planly. And then for fear, stop losing your clients with Tax Planly, as I explained in the previous slide. Value prop 2, win more clients with Tax Planly. And then fear is stop losing clients with Tax Planly. Value prop 3, save your time and scale with Tax Planly. Fear. Value prop 3, for joy, save your time and scale with Tax Planly. Value prop 4, joy, Tax Planly, the easy client solution for your tax planning offering. Fear, tax planning giving you a headache. Try Tax Planly for your clients. Value prop 5, for joy, Tax planning done for your clients. Value prop 5, fear, snowed under preparing clients' tax plans. Try Tax Planly. Value prop 6, For joy, tax planly, save your clients thousands. And for fear, tax planly, stop clients from wasting thousands. So essentially, as we've been discussing, you're going to take the same value prop and you're going to take a joy angle and a fear angle and write a headline for both. This is how to choose value propositions to begin your A/B testing. So as mentioned previously, we don't know what is going to perform best. We want to start with 2 value propositions for our initial testing so that we can do a proper A/B test to determine what you think are going to be the highest converting value propositions. So in this made up scenario, after chatting with the client, tax planly, we decided to go with 2 value propositions. So number 1 and number 6. Number 1 is advisors can keep their clients and not lose their clients. And then number 6 is that tax planly saves the clients thousands in fees. So just down here is a visual as to the specific angle that we went with for each of the value props that we chose. So for value prop 1, we chose the fear angle. I thought the fear angle of stop losing your clients would convert better than the joy angle of keep clients coming back. And then for value prop 6, we chose the joy angle. So tax planly save your clients thousands. I thought that would convert better than stop your clients from wasting thousands of dollars. Now, as always, for either of these, it could be the inverse is true, which is why it's important to continuously be A/B testing. But for phase 1, for test 1, we're going to be going with these 2 value props and these 2 angles. So next up, by this point, we may have created 6 value props. We may have created 15 different value props. From there, we've created 2 to 5 headlines for both a joy-based angle and a fear-based angle. Said another way, we've done an absolute ton of work to create value props and headlines. Because we're going to be running ads against these to see which convert the best, it makes sense to have stored all of these value props and all of these headlines, which is why I spoke about putting them all in the Google Sheet previously. You're going to want to be testing all of these value props and all these headlines over time to continuously hone in on what is the best performer and optimize your ad campaigns accordingly. So make sure you save that work, don't get rid of it, and continuously be documenting results for all of your value props and all of your headlines so that you can increase your conversions over time and lower your cost per conversion, your cost per book demo. Okay, so far in the training, we've discussed everything from what a value prop is, how you go about generating value props, how you go about then crafting them into kind of a mission statement, and then passing those out into different angles to create headlines. Once we've done all that work, we then obviously want to test those value propositions and test those headlines in Ads Manager with our meta ads to see which convert best to generate more book demos and increase our pipeline. How do we go about doing that? So step 1 is to set up tracking and analytics. So we want to implement conversion tracking. Our analytics platform, which is going to be typically Google Analytics, and a lot of my clients use HubSpot as well, needs to be set up to track demo call bookings as conversions. So the way you typically do this is the landing page after the booked call. So you're going to be pushing users to a landing page that essentially has elements on it, including a form fill. So first name, last name, email address, book a call. The next page is going to have your website, landing page name, dash thank you. Every time a user goes to that landing page, the one that says dash thank you, that's going to be tracked as a conversion event, which is a book demo. And those UTMs, each ad has a UTM attached to it. It's going to be sending information every time back into your Google Analytics and back into your HubSpot to see the ad set, aka the value proposition, and the landing page that those conversions were driven from. It's super important that you have your tracking set up correctly so that what is actually driving the conversions. These conversions will all be recorded in Ads Manager, so you can also see that information in Ads Manager. But typically I've found time and time again that the clients I'm working with want to have one source of truth. So that source of truth is typically going to be either Google Analytics or HubSpot. So it's important to have that one source of truth so you can compare apples to apples. So how are your Google ads doing compared to your LinkedIn ads, compared to your email, compared to your organic results? So essentially setting up that tracking will allow you to see that at scale. Okay, now, how do you actually set up the A/B tests within your meta campaigns to test out your value propositions? So the way I personally go around this is I'm going to create, in this training I've described creating 6 different value propositions. From there, to start off with, we're going to take 2 of those value propositions. Each value proposition is going to be its own ad set. And that ad set has 10 ads in that ad set. So you've got value prop 1, which is ad set 1, value prop 2, which is ad set 2. Those 10 ads, there's going to be 2 to 5 different headline variations. So for example, with the training we're currently doing, you've got stop losing your clients, which is one of the value props, and then save your clients thousands, which is the other value props, all with typically static images, because essentially it's easier to isolate the one variable, which is your headline for testing. So static images, 10 different static images with different headlines around that value prop in ad set 1, and then vice versa for ad set 2. Everything in ad set 1 around the value prop of stop losing your clients is going to drive to a landing page that has the headline, stop losing your clients, and a video sales letter talking about stopping losing your clients. Same thing for ad set 2. The landing page is going to be talking about saving your clients thousands, and the video sales letter is going to be talking about saving your clients thousands. So that's how to perform a scientifically tested A/B test. Because from there, you're going to see, okay, which value proposition performed better. If save your clients thousands is getting book demos for $150, and the other stop losing your clients is getting book demos for $400, and you've tested 10 ads in each, and you've spent $5,000 in each of the ad sets, one of them's outperforming the other one by around 200%, 2x better, 2.5x better. Clearly, there's something about that value proposition, one of the specific headlines within that value proposition, that's outperforming the other one. So that's how to perform an A/B test, where you can do multi-variable testing there, because you're testing out both the different headlines and the different value propositions at one time between the two different ad sets. Next up, analyzing the conversion data. So from here, it's super important to not necessarily concentrate on CPM, so your cost per 1,000 impressions, or even the click-through rate, things like that. If you're spending a decent amount of ad spend, which you should be to be trying to get statistical significant results, typically your cost per demo is going to cost between $200 and $300. So if we say $250 is the average that you're going to be generating a demo call, a sales call for, that number by 10, so that's $2,500. So each of your value propositions, you should spend nothing less than $2,500 on each of those. So by the time you spend $2,500 on one value proposition and $2,500 on another value proposition, so two different ad sets, $2,500 on each, you're going to analyze the data there, and you're going to see, okay, are any of these ads in any of these ad sets converting for us near or better than our target of $250 cost per demo? Any ads that are spending a decent amount of money and not converting near or better than that target, turn them off. Same thing with the value prop. If, for example, you spent $2,500 and nothing has converted and you've tested 5 different headlines, it's very likely that you're going to have a better chance of success by trying out a different value proposition than trying to tweak the same value proposition 10 degrees to the left. Because we're always looking to be testing the variables that have the highest likelihood of a significant improvement in performance. So for example, if we test 2 different shades of blue, not going to have a crazy difference in results. But if we do test one value proposition versus another value proposition, which is a completely different message, the likelihood is there's going to be a significant deviation in performance, which is what we're looking for, because we want to be testing things that are different to our current stack of tests, so that we can try and get those outsized gains. And then carrying on with this theme, we're essentially just going to be continuously repeating that process. So let's say from round 1, in ad set 1, we've got 2 winning ads. So we've got 2 ads that are hitting our cost per demo target. So they're getting regular demos booked for $250 per demo or less. And then in ad set 2, we have 1 winner. So we're going to turn off the other 8 ads from ad set 1, and we're going to turn off the other 8 ads the other 9 ads from ad set 2. From there, we're then going to look into the 2 ads that are working in ad set 1 and the 1 ad that's working in ad set 2. What is similar about those 3 headlines? What is similar about those 3 creative templates? What is similar about those 2 value propositions that we can try and test again with the new ads that we're going to introduce on round 2 in ad set 1 and ad set 2? Because we're always trying to build a momentum and create more winners, because we want to have a team of winning ads, not just one ad. And then over time, what we're going to do is we're going to create an ad set, which is our scaling ad set. So that ad set, for example, from that round 1, if we've got 3 ads that are absolutely crushing it and they're getting most of our ad spend, 2 of those ads are in the 1 ad set. We're going to move that other ad from ad set 2. We're going to move that ad over into this ad set. So now we got all 3 ads, and that ad set is going to be spending 80% of our budget. So just for easy maths, let's say we got $10,000 budget a month. $8,000 is going to be spent in that ad set with those 3 winning ads. And ad set 2 then is going to be our testing ad set. And we're going to test out new value propositions, new headlines. Again, always the specific value proposition that any given ad is using. The landing page is also going to be discussing that value proposition. But it's okay to have 3 or 4 different value propositions within one ad set if that's our testing ad set. So our main ad set is going to have 80% of our spend, $8,000 a month. And then our testing ad set is going to have $2,000 spend a month. 20% is more important than the $2,000. I'm just using that for easy maths. And we're going to be continuously testing in that testing ad set. Now, once we find winners from that test ad set, we're then going to take the post ID, which is essentially the code of that ad. So you got all the social proof, the likes, comments, shares, reposts of that ad. We're going to move that ad into the scaling ad set so that it can get more of the ad spend so we can book more demos. And then we're going to continuously be testing with 20% of our ad spend in the test ad set. So just to reiterate from the top, in terms of testing, we're going to start off with 2 different ad sets. That's going to be what we think are probably going to be our top performing 2 value propositions. And we're going to test out many different headlines for value prop 1 and value prop maybe 2, 3, 4 months down the line. We have a team of winning ads. We're then going to create a scale ad set. When I say create a scale ad set, we're going to turn one of those 2 ad sets into our scaling ad set. Whichever of the 2 ad sets is currently generating more demos every day at a better, more cost-effective rate. Because ideally, you never want to move winning ads out of the ad set they're already in. So we're going to turn one of those 2 ad sets into a scaling ad set, and the other ad set is then going to be a testing ad set. And we're going to do an 80% budget towards our scaling ad set, 20% budget towards our testing ad set. And that is how you A/B test at scale. Keep the same process and just continuously iterate and continuously test. It's literally just testing, isolating a variable, and then A/B testing it consistently. Over time, you get those marginal gains and you keep stacking wins to the point where your ads are performing superbly consistently. So just to recap, what did we cover in this video training? We started off with the importance of value propositions in converting traffic to sales, why it's important to test value propositions before anything else, and why it's important to create value propositions before anything else, how to generate those value propositions for your brand to test, the step-by-step process to craft value propositions after gathering ideas, the step-by-step process to develop different angles for each value proposition, an example of how to develop and test value propositions, choosing value propositions to begin the A/B testing with, so your initial A/B test, and then the step-by-step process to test value propositions. Thanks for watching this training. If you like what you saw and you want to see the entire B2B SaaS meta ads playbook that I've put together, the link is here on the screen and it's also in the description below. And then if you wanted a free meta ad strategy session with myself, visit our website. Cheers.